Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha. Agajanana Padmarkam Gajananam Aharnisham Anekadam Tam Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe. Welcome to all for this session on Ganesha Purana to chapter 86. Since last chapter, we started hearing the story of Taraka, the demon who is terrorizing all the triple worlds and he even captured the Brahmaloka, Vaikuntha and the Kailasa and thereby rendering the demigods with no one to take care of them or no one to safeguard them. They all then went and eulogized Mahesha, but Shankara was deep in his austerity. So then they went to the mother Parvati and eulogized her, and she assured them if the attention of Shankara is diverted to her, she would help the gods for leading to the birth of Skanda, and Skanda would kill the demon Taraka. Then they invited Kama in order to disturb Shiva. And when Kama went and disturbed the senses of Shiva, the angry Shiva burnt him down to ashes. Then Brahma continued the story with Shiva's embrace, because at that time when Kama was burnt into ashes, Parvati standing as a bill woman in front of him, she told him that it was all the game of the gods in order to allow the birth of Skanda. They wanted us to get united, and then Shiva took her to Kailasa. With Shiva's embrace, the bill woman flamed with the fire of passion, but like a little fish in a desert, she was no way in which the goddess could gain relief. She fell into some water, and though she became cool and smelt fragrant, she still obtained no comfort there, nor could she get any sleep on the ground. She placed camphor and sandalwood on her terrible burning, but nothing that was cold gave her any satisfaction. It all happened because of the embrace of Shiva. After quite a while, only skin and bone remained. Then, going to Shiva, the lord of mountain, Girija spoke these words: "You won't touch me, O God. So I am aroused, I am scorched, but passion still oppresses me terribly. I have tried various ways to quench it, but nothing has worked. There must be some way to quench it. You do it for me, O Lord." Having given ear to his beloved wife's speech, Hara, the dispenser of kindness, took her by the hand when they were alone and placed her on the bed. He made love to her as he pleased, overpowered by Madana, who, even though he was dead, completed the great task ordered by the gods. Yet he became renowned in the world because of the belief that not one archer is equal to Kama the bodiless. While these two were making love, 60,000 years passed. Having provoked Madana's behavior, the gods and sages who had fallen from their places returned once again to Kailasa, where Hara was engrossed in the love play. Realizing this, they stayed silent, but their hearts were filled with anxiety. These gods who were frightened of Taraka returned again to the cave, thinking, when will he be killed and when will we regain our positions? When will Shambhu remove our distress? The gods, then led by Brahma, remained in an ocean of anxiety until the teacher of gods made this speech. Listen, that is basically Brahaspati. Listen to me, O faultless gods. You must all send fire, the Agni, his true form concealed to Hara. Once he has made himself known to Hara, he will quickly perform your job. They all then invited Agni, Vanhi, then praised him with various eulogies. They told him, O Brahmin, from you alone come all the sacrificial rites, the whatever yajna that is being performed by the good people, the power of that yajna goes to the god through the same fire. And all the householders' rights were taken care of by you. You are the cause of water. You are the mouth of gods. You are the leader of the fire sacrifice because you are named Garhapatya, etc. These are the different five different Agnis, Panchagnis. O Lord, you alone always drink the very extensive waters of the ocean, and you alone cook the six flavors in the men's stomach. At every temporal juncture, it is you alone who sets in motion all humans, and a person whom you leave is said to be dead and is burnt in you. In fact, unless and until there is a temperature existing in the human body, if the temperature comes down to zero, then the person is considered to be dead. So then he will be put to the fire. O Lord of the gods, you are the cause of the maintenance of the life in creature, for without you, without that fire, without you, and the waters, food could never be cooked. You alone are Brahma, Rudra, and Surya, and you also assume several other forms. O Lord of the universe, you alone produce the root of anger, and wherever fiery energy exits, you too does your form. Accordingly, we are soliciting you now, O benefactor of the triple world. O Lord, Taraka has completed the subjugation of the triple world. You know about the voice from the sky and also about the Kama's fate. Going there in another form, you must request alms in order to rouse Parvati and Hara, who have long been immersed in love play. When this has been done, that which had to be done for us and the universe will come about. After hearing the god's speech, he became a Brahmin wearing brown garments because wherever Shiva could get angry, he cannot get angry towards a Brahmin who is supposed to be a knowledgeable person. Taking courage that a Brahmin can never be punished by anybody, he then went to where Parvati and Ishvara were located, still engaged in love play. Standing outside, he asked, Give alms, Bhavati Bhikshan Dehi. So he asked for the Bhiksha. Three times in a protracted voice, and both of them heard this sound. Surprised, they said to one another, Where does this come from? We must get ourselves now dressed. Because since long they were involved in the play of love, and they have nothing to offer it to a Brahmin who came to their door, and they have nothing to offer him. So then Shiva placed his semen in Uma's two hands, but unable to hold it, and knowing what was inevitable, she gave that semen itself as an object to the beggar, who thought it is left if it is left on ground, Hara's semen might burn the triple world, moving and unmoving. Fearful of their curse, the fire, the god Agni had drank it, and because of that reason, the god Agni became pregnant with the semen of Hara. Embarrassed and terribly pained, Agni Deva could not get any comfort wherever he went, because for Agni himself is a burning fire, but for himself it is difficult to hold the semen of Shiva. Getting up at dawn to bath in the Ganga, he performed the rites of purity and so forth while the sun remained on the horizon. Six women, united in their power, came there to bath, and Agni ejaculated the semen, thinking, This is the Ganga, because Ganga is also loved by Hara. He will hold it if she is capable of holding the semen of Shiva. she has a watery form and is very cold, so she could able to maintain the burning semen of Shiva. But the women ate he left it in the Ganga, but then Ganga could not able to hold it for too long. It was then eaten by, but the women ate Shiva's semen, which is divided into six portions, and that very moment Agni concealed himself while their clothes were off. When the Agni Deva had gone to a distant spot, each one of them went home after putting on their own clothes. But their husbands saw that their mouths were glowing brightly, and knowing by means of the eye of knowledge that they were pregnant. The lords of the sages expelled them all from their houses on the grounds that their mouths were not fit to be seen, because those six women who drank that semen of Shiva, Hara, their facial structure and their whole body structure has changed because they had now become pregnant with the semen of Hara. Returning then to the bank of Ganga, which was resplendent with reeds, each of them released their own embryo and returned to their houses bathed and clean. After the six young women had departed, each having released her own embryo, the boy was born there, having six faces and 12 arms. Merely by the sound of his hum, stars fell out of the sky onto the earth. He shook the entire earth, Shesha, and also the underworld, and the trees were uprooted, the sun covered by the mist. At that very moment, Narada of the celestial appearance was going to see the mountain dweller on Kailasha, because Narada, the divine sage, at that time was going to see Shankara. And on the path, he saw a youth who was enormously strong and shining so brilliantly as to be difficult to behold. Recognizing him by means of his deep meditation, he came silently to Kailasa and told Shambhu and Parvati all the news. Knowing he was Shiva's son, all the earth rejoiced. Divine drums thundered, and the heavenly musicians sang marvelously. Narada then said to Gowri, O Gowri, as I was coming, I saw your son on the on the bank of Ganga. He had six faces, 12 arms, and shines like a myriad of suns. Is this not the six faced boy whom you abandoned, who fell into the bank of Ganga? He is endowed with the splendor of a myriad of kamas, and everything shakes when he roars. He could how could one speak coarsely of this handsome boy, O Gauri? After Narada had told this to Gowri and had left, Gowri went there to see the young child. Thus ends chapter 86 of Upasana Khanda of the glorious Ganesha Purana, in which we have seen that the Lord Shiva and Parvati, the father and mother of the entire world, they were involved in the play of love for several thousand years. And in the meantime, the gods were anxious to wait when exactly the Skanda will born, because only Skanda will be able to kill the demon Taraka, with which the gods will regain their position. Then they, with the suggestion from Brahaspati, they all invoked Agni, and they told Agni to go and disturb the love play between Shiva and Parvati. Agni took the shape of a Brahmin. He went there asking for the alms, asking for the bhiksha. But then Shiva placed his semen into the hands of Parvati. Parvati, unable to bear the semen of Shiva, she handed it over to the Agni in the disguise of a Brahmin. Agni, if he dropped the semen on the ground, it would burn the triple world. So he drank that semen, and he could not able to, though Agni himself is very hot, he could not able to bear the power of the semen of Shiva. And then he went and discharged it in the river Ganga. And Ganga, and while it was floating in the river Ganga, six women, Rishi Patnis, who came there, they drank it and they become pregnant. And when their husbands have identified that their wives have become pregnant because of the semen of Hara, they abandoned them. And they all then came to the shore of Ganga, the bank of Ganga, and they discharged their embryo there, and they cleaned themselves and went back. And that embryo joined together became a six-faced Shadanana, a six-faced boy with 12 arms, and he is the Skanda who will going to be the killer of Taraka. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.